for tuning in for the great dialogue. Today we have been privileged to host none other than our guest, Daniel Mwendwa. Welcome to the show. Okay, Daniel, introduce yourself. Who are you? What when people hear about Dan, who is this Daniel Mwendwa? Who's the public?
Alright, so my name is Daniel Mwendwa. I'm serving the institution, the Catholic University of Africa, as the chairperson of the club's committee, and I'm also serving as the coordinator of Africa Youth Leadership Forum, which is also a club there. Basically, when people hear about Daniel, what comes to their mind first is someone who gets stuff done. I think that's something of Muslim, where if there's something you have to do, I put in the right effort and make sure it happens. I think that's how I do it.
That makes you to be known as Daniel Mwendwa.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, I'm very much grateful to host you today. Dan, are you a leader?
I'd say yes, I am a leader for sure. Born and made.
Born or made?
Born and both. Born and made.
As a leader, which role are you playing as a leader in campus leadership?
So I'm just saying, I'm serving the school. I'll call it serving. The school as the club's chairperson, club's committee chairperson, and also the coordinator of the AYLF. I think most people know about Africa Youth Leadership Forum, which is now a movement.
Okay, for people who are watching you, maybe people who are not, who don't know the school you are serving as a club leader, maybe people from University of Nairobi, people from other counties that are watching this Daniel Mwendwa, very interested to know more about this Daniel. Which school specifically are you serving as club's chair?
So I'll say I'm a third year student at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa. Right. Very proud of the institution.
That's actually third year student.
Yeah.
Which course is it?
I'm studying education, Bachelor of Arts in Education. Yeah. Majoring in English language and literature, English, but also focusing more on international curriculum and global perspectives. Yeah.
That's great. That's a brief introduction about our guest today, none other than Daniel Mwendwa. He's a student at the Great Catholic University of Eastern Africa. He's taking education. Are you aspiring to be a principal in future, CBC principal?
Not really. I think I'm not passionate about Kenyan schools. I'm focusing more on international education.
Oh, yeah. Do you have international curriculum experience?
Yeah, I've taught. Okay, first allow me to say that I've studied international curriculum in Riara University. Wow. And then I've also done the same curriculum with primary schools. And I've just completed my attachment at Light schools.
Wow, that's wonderful. So as an expert in this field of education, what's your score about the CBC curriculum that is being introduced in our nation right now? As a teacher, also as a teacher and an expert in the field.
CBC is a good curriculum, yeah. But then I feel the strategy we're using to implement it in Kenya is not working. In the sense that what we will end up achieving with CBC is more inequality. And that, try and imagine the components of CBC. They need more hands-on skills, they need more, I'd say, equipment and all this stuff that are not even available in schools in the very rural areas. Yeah? So it means that we are creating a margin in terms of the rich and the poor. Actually, the poor will continue being poor because of the quality of education they get. I mean, someone who is in, let's say, somewhere in Turkana, we don't have computers there, probably we don't even have the electricity to operate those computers. So how are we achieving the same goals in terms of the expectations of CBC? And then also to shed some light there that one of the key competences of CBC is digital literacy. Yeah. So it means that these kids will not even achieve this component, which is very important and crucial at this age.
Not to brother. Parents complain, especially in the village, that this CBC curriculum is much more expensive. It's like a burden to parents. So as a government, as an educational expert or education stakeholder, what do you think can be done by the government to make this curriculum work for both students, the government, and the parents?
I fully agree, it's expensive. I've taught CBC at some point in time. I've taught CBC. And CBC requires a lot of items, just items and equipment, and even the books. I remember there was a time I went bought books for one of my nephews, and I think the total cost was around 7,000. Yeah. Now try and imagine, create that picture of maybe a parent of seniors in Kajiado County, someone who is trying to fight maybe hunger and the most crucial things in life, and now the education system is being very expensive in that you have to spend 7,000, you understand?
Yes.
And they don't have 100 book for lunch. So you find that it's expensive. So what you can say the government can do is they try and create balance. In that let's facilitate more resources to the local areas. Yeah. Let's make sure that these people already have the items that are required. Because for the urban centers like Nairobi or Nakuru, these parents are able, in a way, not fully, but in a way, they are able to participate.
Okay, thank you, Dan, for elaborating much more about CBC. I think for parents in the village, for students in the village, is able now to understand what CBC is all about. Okay, let's come back to our discussion with the leadership thing. You said you are a leader at the University of Catholic University of Eastern Africa. It's more so specific clubs. What interested you in being chair of the clubs and societies?
So what happened? I joined campus in 2020. That was post-COVID. I think the first slot of post-COVID. And then I was so radical in terms of getting to the students' council because I knew this is for sure where I want to be. I've been a leader for quite some time in the lower levels. So university leadership is hard to be. So I think I made it a priority. See the way you set goals. So I made it a goal that I have to be in this leadership. And I started by serving as the HOD, languages department. And then, while I was still in the students' council, I realized that there's a clubs committee. You know, this is something I wasn't aware of. So one day I was in the office because I was part of a club area, and I went to the club's office. And then I realized that chairperson was alone. The other leaders, I think they were either on industrial attachment or they were just being held up. So I realized there was a gap. And then I offered to volunteer, understand? So I volunteered, and then a post was created for me at that time. So I became the club's activist for my career. So it was so obvious that I was in the next club's because I had the experience and in that office, I had worked with all clubs officials to making sure everything runs well.
That's nice, Mr. Dan. Like, as a leader, you know, there's always ups and downs. As a leader, you face challenges, you face opposition from the other side. Maybe the people you are also contesting for the same seat, or maybe someone who is interested in having that seat as the chair of clubs in society. What challenges have you encountered as the club's chair in your school?
There's so many, and I think this is a normal thing for leadership. In that I think I'm an radical person in terms of thoughts and ideas. That I don't like the same structure. That this is how things are presented. I'm not to follow this path. I just want us to try to take and see. This is what students really need at this particular time, and then we put in the effort to achieve that. So when I came to the club's committee, I tried to explain this ideas. And I feel like the club's officials have tried last year. They are a bit comfortable in that this now becomes a threat. They don't want to push themselves to extra levels, you know. And then you're here, you want to achieve those goals. You have a vision that, you know, before people buy your vision, it takes time, it takes so much inspiration. So I think there was a challenge in terms of bringing everyone to the same time. That clubs officials know that this is what I want us to do together. Understand? Yeah. And also the other challenges in clubs, also in clubs, it's financial issues because you see, clubs need money to operate. Students' activities need money, and I'd say we are not yet there in terms of financial.
But you're trying to do that.
We are trying. We are trying to show the school. It's more showing the school that why should you invest in these clubs? So we are not worried.
So as a leader or as a leader, head of clubs and societies at Catholic University, you know, there will be a time when you'll be done with your studies at Catholic University of Eastern Africa, or maybe you'll move to the next level of not being just a leader of clubs and societies, will leave that club's office for another person to take over. And a leader is rated by his track record, based on what he has done, what he has achieved. So far, what have you achieved as the leader that you're going to lead in the office of clubs and societies for the next leader to benchmark?
It's been a wonderful moment, and I'd say we have achieved so much in a very short time. When I say we, I mean I've not done this alone. I've had other people coming together. For example, I've had a very supportive clubs committee made of three persons, and then clubs officials. They are amazing people. Yeah? So I told you it was so hard to bring them to the same bar of my vision, but then immediately they understood my idea and what I wanted us to achieve. We worked together, and what we have achieved right now is synergy in terms of clubs coming together and doing the same activity.
Yeah.
So that means that we are actually expanding and pushing ourselves to more potential together. Yeah. And also in terms of clubs awareness, I think this is the first year in May that students are going to clubs. We've done PDFs, we've done advertisements. And you've said, for the students in Uganda, they can now attest that for the very first time, probably in history, have we seen clubs coming out in different facilities. And clubs have been a center of students' pride in terms of vibrancy in school. Yes, we have achieved so much in terms of what clubs should be doing.
Okay, thank you, Dan, for that elaborate information about your track record and achievement. I know we are running out of time, but before we wind up our show today, as a leader, when you're an MCA, you're targeting to be an MP in future. When you're an MP, you're targeting maybe to be a senator, to be a governor. Are you targeting to remain as club's chair, or you have visions?
Obviously, I can't be the next club's chairperson. I need to also transition to the next level. Probably I have thoughts of getting to the next level in terms of leadership, probably in the executive.
Okay. Out of university leadership, maybe let's look at nationwide figure. Once you're done with the university, which seat are you admiring outside there, politically?
Oh, nice, yeah. I'm very certain that I'll be our area MP, Mwala, in 2032. So I won't say a strategy because people now start thinking that I'm doing this maybe to be the MP. But I want to start a community project, community poultry farming, where probably this will start next year, where we put people into smaller groups and then we provide them with training, we provide them with chicks, we get them a market. So it's more about accelerating economic growth in areas in semi-arid region. So really in our area, probably irrigation is not effective because probably we don't have enough water. But then there are other aspects of agriculture which are a very high source of revenue in this country that we can venture as a region. So when you do that, I think people will see. I'll get a chance now to interact with people and then be able to see my potential and what I want them to achieve together. More so on the issue of job employment, eradication of poverty, and the issue of even food security and nutrition at large.
Thank you very much, Dan, for that fruitful conversation. I'm wishing you all the best when come 2032. I'm seeing as the MP for that, and I'll also be glad to post you as the Member of Parliament for Mwala constituency.
I will for sure.
Machakos County. Dan, before we finish our show, maybe just a word of advice to tell to the youth or young people about leadership, about education, anything of advice can tell to young people.
Yeah, what I'll tell every youth who is there watching this show is that one, I know there's the issue of there are no jobs in Kenya and all that, but I'm here today to remind you one thing, that jobs will always be created for you. Yeah? Opportunities are always there. It's about how aggressive are we in terms of one, building the right networks and building even the right skill set, and also adaptability. I've seen many youths in this generation where if I'm doing education, see I said I'm doing education, I don't think about will I be a marketer? Yeah. See? So it's about I have to go to class. And also thinking that having done education in terms of a degree, I can only teach in a Kenyan school. Have I thought of other avenues that I can use technical and my technical skills maybe to venture into? And then the other thing to remind you about soft skills, which are very important in terms of communication skills, interpersonal relations. Because one, technical skills will give you the job, but then the soft skills will help you maintain that job. Because if you can't relate so well with people in that office or in that workplace, then it becomes hard for you to sustain the job. The other thing is that I want us all to find the value in making impact. One, we need to attach significance and service in whatever we do.
Yeah.
In that, if I know, it's more of getting to your passion, area of passion. I know I'm very passionate about poultry farming. So for everything I have to do, I have to think about the impact in the service. So follow your passion. Because if you follow your passion, for sure, everyone has a space in this world. There's that part in this world that expects, and you're the only person who can fill that space. So it's about passion, service, significance, the right skill set, the right attitude, and then also be very aggressive in terms of building the right networks.
Thank you, Dan. I'm much more grateful for hosting you today. You have elaborated much about yourself. You have advised youth of your age, and at least you've heard from Daniel Mwendwa that you can be employed away from what you have schooled, what you studied. You can take another path and become the most successful young people. Thank you, Dan. I'm looking forward to hosting you next time, either as an executive leader, or maybe next as a constituency. It will be always nice to interact with you in my show, and also to hear more about you, and also to advise the youth. That marks the end of our show today with our guest of honor, none other than Daniel Mwendwa. Thank you for Daily Scale Next. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for our cameraman, Mr. Bramwell, for also recording us, and thank you for camera assistant, none other than Patrick, for also hosting us. See you then next time on the dialogue here, where leadership, governance, and all the conversation regarding student leadership is concerned. Thank you, and may God bless you. Watch, subscribe, like, and share our show. My name is Brian Craig.